In the 2024-2025 season, I do not think that there was any player who was as instrumental to where their team got to and how far their team went in every competition like Raphinha was. And in comparison to Ousmane Dembele, who is, for me, the only other threat to Raphinha winning the Ballon d'Or, the numbers are pretty much very close. But here's where I feel like the two of them are separated. Raphinha was consistent from the start of the season to the very end of the season. Dembele had sort of a slow start to the season and had some issues with Luis Enrique where he was not playing for a while. And then he sort of picked up form around December when PSG resuscitated their Champions League hopes because they were almost out of the competition. But Raphinha, right from the start, hit the ground running, and up until that second leg against Inter Milan where Barcelona lost in extra time, Raphinha, even beyond that game, Raphinha was good. Raphinha was excellent. Raphinha exceeded expectations. I know that PSG getting to the Club World Cup final definitely helps Dembele's case. But even in that Club World Cup, I want you guys to remember that Dembele did not play a large part of that tournament. And I think the whole group stage, I'm not sure. I think he entered that tournament with an injury. And the entire group stage, he was not really involved. I'm not even sure he played. But I know that he played in the latter stages. And then he scored a really important goal against Bayern while PSG were defending, I think with 2 man down or something. Scored a really important goal that killed the game. PSG finished that game with 2 red cards, by the way. So, and in the game against Real Madrid, I don't remember. I think he scored or not. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But in the final, which they lost, he didn't score. As well as in the final against Inter Milan. You know, if you win 5-0 and you don't score in a final, you know, I guess that says what it says, right? But again, here's why I think Raphinha, to just round this up, here's why I think Raphinha should win the 2025 Ballon d'Or. Again, I say, there was no player who was as consistent from the start of the season to the end of the season for their club. In all the clubs that got to the latter stages of all the competitions they played in, if you look at all those clubs, there was no player that was as instrumental as Raphinha in all of those clubs that delivered equally in goals, in assists, as a winger in tracking back, marking, interceptions, ball recoveries, every part of play, Raphinha was involved. Everything Barcelona did, everything Barcelona achieved last season, Raphinha was involved from start to finish. And for me, the Champions League that Barcelona did not win was the Achilles heel, but ultimately, if the Ballon d'Or is an individual award, I guess you give who delivered the most individually. That's where I rest my case.